Hey, boys and girls, welcome to fourth grade. I'm Miss Scruggs, and I'm going to be your classroom teacher this year. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am married to my husband, Robert. We have been married for 20 years. We have two children. Our son, Hunter, is 16, and he'll be a junior at James Clemens High School. My daughter, Anna Claire, is 13, and she'll be an eighth grader at Liberty Middle School. In my spare time, what do I like to do? Well, I like to hang out and play with my kids. I like to read. I like to shop, like most women. And I'm also a huge Auburn fan, so War Eagle. I graduated from Huntsville High in 95, and then I went on to Auburn University and finished my degree in elementary education. And then I later went back to school and got my master's at UAB. I took my first job teaching at Somerville Road in Decatur, Alabama, where I taught second grade. From there, I left and came to Madison City and taught 6 years at Horizon Elementary in the fifth grade before moving to Heritage and teaching fourth grade for the last 15 years. So if you do the math, that is my 22nd year of teaching. I'll give you some important information about things that are going to be happening here at Heritage over the next few weeks and getting you prepared for virtual learning. First of all, this Tuesday is the rolling of the Rams parade, but unfortunately, Miss Scruggs isn't going to be able to be in attendance. But I would love to meet with each of you this week via WebEx. So please look for the link that'll be coming home in the email that I send this open house video in. Also, the first day of school will be Wednesday, August the 12th, and you are expected to log in each day in order to get credit in attendance. There's also going to be a form that I send that just gathers some information about you and your family, as well as about things that I might need to know about you for future reference. As far as expectations go, boys and girls, it's important that you know that I don't expect you to sit in front of the computer all day long. Some of the lessons that I give you will be pre-recorded, so you'll be able to watch them at your own pace and your own leisure. However, there will be a live lesson every day from 9 to 9:30, and that is when you are expected to attend. That is our way of making sure that you check in and that you get credit for having been at school that day. We'll also have some small group time later on as assessments get completed, and those times will be from 10:15 to 10:45 and from 12:30 to 1, and those will be in math and reading, and it will depend on your assessments, and that will help me determine which groups to place you in. And you can expect to meet at least once a week in reading and once a week in math, but that won't start for a while, so you've got a little while to prepare for that. Also, just so you know, there will be a daily schedule that I can give you as a sample schedule posted in Schoology. And that later on, we'll do those small group instruction like I mentioned. But then I also want to let you know that each day from 1:30 to 2:30, I will be on my WebEx for students to stop by virtually and ask questions or express concerns or just to have a chit chat if they feel need. Just like we would normally do in the first week of school, we don't do as much of the math, reading, and science and social studies, but instead we're trying to get back in the groove of school. And although it's a different kind of school year, we still want to be preparing our classroom community. And one way that we can do that is we'll do some icebreakers. We'll have a read aloud this week, and then we'll do a get to know you activity and some other things that we have planned. That'll be fun, fun beginning of the year type activities. Supplies, boys and girls, it's important that you go ahead and purchase the majority of the supplies on the fourth grade list. I figure it's the time of year when they're out and they're cheapest anyway. So best to go ahead and get those things that are listed because you will need them once you come back to the classroom. But it's important each day that you have your notebook for the assigned subject, whichever class is going to be your live class for that day, as well as making sure that you have your sharpened pencils so that you're not having to go and search for a pencil during our live lesson. And if you would like, you can have headphones so that you can tune out the other things around you and be focused on your lesson. We won't do a ton of printing, but it might be something that is helpful. So be sure to let me know if you don't have a printer, and we'll see what we need to do to make sure that you get the supplies needed in order to be able to do the assignments. Just to kind of give you a little idea about some of the biggest changes that we have from 3rd to 4th grade, and that number one is going to be your grades. We don't do a hybrid report card like 3rd grade. We just give a letter grade with a number, and you will get a grade in each of the subjects. So it won't be a grade in just math and language arts. You'll also get one in science and social studies. This is the grading scale. It should be similar to what you had last year, with the exception to the fact that we don't have the hybrid grading as well. Report cards, again, you'll still get your 3, 6, and 9. 3 and 6 will be your progress report, and of course your report card sent every 9 weeks. Be sure to check iNow regularly. That will be where your grades can be accessed, and make sure that if you don't have the way to get to log into iNow, let me know and we'll get that for you. As far as communication goes, we will still be sending a newsletter each week with all of the important things that you might need to know as a parent. Please be sure to read the whole thing. We try to make sure that it's all encompassing, so it's important that you read it from beginning to end. Email is always the best way to communicate with me. If you have a question or concern, parents, please feel free to email me. Students, you have the capability of email as well, so please utilize that if necessary. As your teacher, I'm going to do my best every day to make sure that your child understands the concepts that we're teaching. I'm also going to try to make sure they're successful and be prepared for their future. I'm going to be organized. I'm going to try to maintain an open line of communication with you guys, and this is going to be very important right now during virtual learning. And most importantly, I will always put your child's best interest at heart. It's always important for me to make sure that I do what's best for the child, and that way we can ensure that their learning is successful. As a parent, what are things that I would love for you to do? First of all, you're going to be welcome to come to the classroom if they let that happen once school starts back. Always want to remember that we're a team. I found that when we all work together, we can't lose. It's also important that each of us always has our students' best interest at heart and mind. And if you have a question, please come to me first. And then I'll always show, and you can guys have to show patience with your students and your patience with me, especially during this virtual learning, because it's definitely going to be something new. And we're all going to have times of frustration, but I promise that we'll do our very best to make sure that you guys feel as successful as possible. If you have any questions, please don't forget that you can email me at kscruggs@madisoncity.k12.al.us, and I will get back with you always as soon as possible. Just in reminders, just remember to read the newsletter each week. Don't forget that you can always email me, and that to know that your child's academic success is my number one priority. So I will do everything I can to make this virtual learning successful. And then as we go back to the classroom in a situation that may look a little different than normal, we'll do our very best to try to make sure that your child gets all of the help they need, as well as make sure that they get all of the teaching aspects included. So if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to email me, and I can't wait to see you guys virtually on Wednesday live at 9 a.m. See you later.